Hello everybody, and welcome back to the TIFP Season 3 finale of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast, which is abbreviated to TIFP. As always, I'm Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
My name is Alpha DeWolf.
And, of course, and as a big surprise to recurring viewers or listeners, TabbyCat406 is not available today because he's spending time with his dad, so good luck. So, I just want to remind you all please spend time with your families. But I guess we shall go ahead and get started with our first actual topic, which is just more in depth on what the next season of TIFP will bring.
So, am I making any more changes to the editing of this show, or is it just various other announcements?
No, this is not going to change the editing.
Okay, thank goodness.
All right, so our only real announcement for right now is that we'll all be returning for season 4. So there will be no change in hosts, but more importantly, if you guys can remember back to season 1 when we had APR2K on back. This is before Alpha was on, so he probably doesn't remember, but we had him on an audio only episode because the video version got corrupted. So as a result,
of course.
But he is going to be on again for season 4. At least he should be on again for season 4. So we have that. But otherwise, TIP is really just gonna stay the same kind of show. Hopefully we can change up our topics a little bit since this season has been primarily focused on the European Union and. Finally,
oh, please.
This episode is finally not going to be about the European Union. Finally. Can't believe I'm saying that after all this long season.
Thank goodness. Because, every time you bring up an announcement, what is there to say other than these people are garbage?
Yeah, exactly. Our topics are just getting a little repetitive, so I have one more topic that's kind of a recurring theme of this season. Then afterwards we'll be going on with some stuff that should hopefully be more current. So now we have the TIFP season finale out of the way. Now let's go on to our first topic, our first actual topic, which is that I tried out a Vision Pro.
So I hear. So what is that experience like?
Well, I tried it out, and I can definitely say that it is not the future.
The first time somebody just said it, their first impression, whoa!
Yeah,
that's a bold statement.
It is not the future at all, okay, so let me explain. So, I did go down to my local Apple store, test out Vision Pro, which
is an hour away from him.
and my instructors. So, I'm sorry for not wording this well, but basically I have really bad hand-eye coordination. So if somebody shows me how to move something in a certain direction or else how to manipulate something in a specific way, then I'll often just do the opposite there, or I'll just do something totally wrong, which is how come I can barely do push-ups in the proper form. I basically can't do any athletic. I basically can't throw any balls around. By that I mean football. I can't play football. I can't play basketball. I can't play really any of those.
Sounds like you need some vision therapy.
But more importantly, if my parents tell me to back up the car in a specific, sometimes my parents tell me to rotate the wheel in a specific direction. And just because I think it's the opposite direction, so as a result, I just rotate the opposite direction. I figured it out, thank goodness. That way I know what ways to rotate my car now, especially as I back out. But yeah, I have terrible hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, it sounds like you might need some vision therapy to help with that, because I don't remember if I've ever actually shared the whole ordeal of what really is wrong with my eyes.
I believe you have, but it's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just to give you guys a quick refresher, basically the way that I learned to see when I was young is basically the same way our smartphones cameras work for the most part. Just standard camera. not using portrait mode or anything. It was either one eye is on or the other. That was how I used to be able to see. It was one eye or the other. I could switch between them at will if I wanted, but I could never see out of both at the same time. And as a result, I had zero depth perception. I still have zero depth perception, but that's because I still need to train myself with it. But yeah, from the sounds of your whole hand-eye coordination thing, luckily it really should just be a vision therapy thing that should be able to help.
Yeah, but getting back on topic. So the guy was showing me basic movements of how to operate the Vision Pro, and one notable thing is that when I was moving my fingers like this to move it, I notably went way too fast at first because, again, I have bad hand-eye coordination. So as a result, and especially in the headset when I can't see, when the camera's quality is reduced, then it's a little bit hard to control. But
it doesn't work that well.
But it was not all intuitive, and the difference is that all of Apple's other methods of navigation, being the click wheel, the trackpad and mouse, and obviously the phone, and after touchscreen, those are all intuitive ways of using devices, depend if they're using the right form factor. Touchscreens on laptops.
Standing out most specifically the trackpad for the desktop operating system, and then I think the king in terms of intuitive interfaces, it has to be the touchscreen. That has to be the king is so of intuitive.
I can manipulate touchscreens when I was 2. That's how easy it is to use it. But if I was 2 years old right now, and if I had been showing a Vision Pro, then I would not. Well, I know you aren't allowed to demo VR when you're a Vision Pro when you're 2 anyway. But if I was 2, there would be no. I could not figure that out when I was 2.
Yeah, there's a reason why so many of our tech products, even in you're not necessarily mobile devices like these, but like let's say gas pumps, for example. Gas pumps have touchscreens nowadays.
Most of them. I haven't seen a single gas pump with a touchscreen in my region.
We had some gas pumps around here get renovated with touchscreens.
Yeah, I don't. They're renovated with screens in my area, but they're renovated with screens that show commercials.
Oh yeah, those suck. Those are so annoying.
I hate those too.
But yeah, like so many things that you just interact with. Vending machines, even. Vending machines are switching away from physical keypads to touchscreens.
The vending machines in my school still have these physical keypads, but I imagine they'll eventually get touchscreen vending machines when it's time.
I wonder if there's a vending machine that supports Apple Pay yet. Because I know there's some that support credit cards. Just a guess, but
yes, there are some. There are some vending machines that take Apple Pay.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the point is the touchscreen. It's just by far the single most intuitive thing humanity has ever interacted with in terms of manipulating software.
Yeah, it's so intuitive, and the Vision Pro, just navigating around to it and using your eyes and navigate it. Now, I do want to say, going on another tangent on how comfortable this Vision Pro is. It is actually the eye strain, like from navigating around. It's actually not as bad as you think. It's not actually not as bad as you would think. However, the weight of the Vision Pro on the head. Now, granted, I don't have the head strap, but I can feel it for quite a while afterwards.
If I had to guess, it was mostly heavy on your face.
Yes, and it hurt and it hurt too.
Because you have to have a lot of tension to hold that weight.
Yeah, it's not. There's no way I could use that for a long period of time. But here's another thing. Now, looking at the actual displays, I can say that unlike the Meta Quest headset that I tried, it did not cause eye strain.
Okay.
So I did not get eye strain from it, which is good. But just looking at I got a glimpse of 3D video, and I am terribly sorry to say this, but 3D video looks no different from 2D video.
Dude, you see the same thing I see!
Yeah, like I can like I think I can see 3D.
Can you see out of both eyes at the same time?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I can see out of both eyes
In that case, yeah, it's really just your depth perception. It's just not there. So,
I can kind of. I think I have depth. I do. I believe I have depth perception. Though it's just
if you do, it must be very weak then, because if you have good depth perception, then you can easily watch a 3D movie.
Yeah, I could not. I could watch it, but it just looked 2D to me. So.
Yeah, that was my issue too.
Yeah.
Because I have seen 3D movies, and they only appeared in 2D for me.
Yeah. All right. Now I know. Now I know why it didn't look that special. But either way, we all remember what happened with 3D TVs. I've said this before on this podcast. 3D is such a gimmick with this headset. And going on another tangent, because I know it sounds like I have terrible vision. However, I just want to warn you guys. I just want to state that I actually do not have terrible vision. In fact, I have pretty good vision. So
it's just a matter. He's got great cameras.
Yeah.
They just need to be tuned to work better together.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I have good. Yeah, I can see. In fact, I've never needed glasses, nor contact lenses or any of that.
Well, I still need glasses, but I'm not complaining. I don't know what the deal is with everyone who raises a big stink about glasses. Everyone keeps asking me, why don't you try contacts? Why don't you try contacts?
Oh, good. I hope
Seriously, what is wrong with glasses?
Yeah, I hope I don't have to. Glasses can kind of make people look old, but a good way to help maintain good vision is maybe don't eat crap all the time. Like, your diet actually does have a serious impact on your vision, believe it or not.
I hear carrots are very good for your eyes.
Yeah, I actually don't eat them, which maybe I should, but that's a whole.
That might be a good idea. Yeah, seriously, what is everyone's problem with glasses?
How on earth? But this is another side tangent. I don't know how on earth it doesn't hurt to put contact lenses in, like literally sticking something through your eyes. Like my eyes hurt just thinking about that.
I know. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how. And it just doesn't even look anywhere near as simple as... That was simple. So simple.
And you can't cry with contact lenses in too, as I know someone who cried with contact lenses, and
yeah.
and she got I don't remember what all happened, but I know she had to go to a doctor or something.
So, yeah, I don't understand what that issue... That's why I really wish that Vision Pro had support to allow you to wear glasses with the headset on. Because, what was that headset I tried? Quest 2? Yes, the Quest 2. I tried the Meta Quest 2. It wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but at least had some room for me to wear my glasses over it.
Yeah,
and it worked fairly okay.
Because mind you, glasses are not cheap. Some people's glasses prescriptions are not cheap. Some people have several $100 prescriptions. You do not want to know how much these cost.
You do not want to know how much these cost.
Yeah, you don't need. Yeah, glasses are. Yeah, it would be so much cheaper if you could just wear your already existing glasses with a Vision Pro. Which, mind you, most people do need glasses.
If I recall, I think it was like $800 per lens.
Oh. Why would...
At least for my frames, it was like $800 per lens. It's not cheap. And
Maybe
my prescription is really heavy.
Maybe that's why Tim Cook doesn't wear. Maybe that's why Tim Cook hasn't been shown wearing a Vision Pro, because he doesn't want to pay to get the lenses fit for his eyes. So.
He's got to be like a millionaire or a billionaire. He can afford that.
That's true.
And he runs the company. He could just get it for free, basically.
That's true. That's a good point.
But yeah, like for context, crap. Now I can't see. I don't know the best angle to show it, but like, here's how thick my lenses are.
Oh.
Yeah. $800 per lens.
But getting back off of that side tangent about contact lenses, yeah. I looked at the Vision Pro.
It seems like somehow I kept predicting this ever since June when I saw that headset announced. All these little things, I'm like, what about this detail? What about... How have I been 100% correct this entire time?
I don't know. We're seriously lucky.
I was hoping that Apple was going to prove me wrong somewhere in here, but no, it turns out this entire time, with every decision I've seen they make out of this, it was just going to backfire. And lo and behold...
But meanwhile, getting back on topic of how the Vision Pro's display looks to my eyes, I looked at the videos that I recorded, and I have to say I do like the immersion. It was really good. It was some of the best. It was far better than Meta Quest's immersion. But here's the kicker.
What's
the
that?
The photos and videos looked like they were straight up out of the mid 2000s, recorded with a cheap taken with a digital camera or camcorder from around that time. Or else
I
maybe
wonder if it's because, well, I think it's probably using the same camera as like one of our Pro phones, right?
I don't know, maybe it is.
One would think they would.
Because the outer display looks terrible. The outer display of it looks, I would say, about an iPhone 4S camera quality.
That outer display does not need to be there. They should have launched that.
Or the outer camera, the camera that faces the outside, I should say.
Well, the only other thing I can think of is maybe it was smudged. Because I hear that some people say that Vision Pro will struggle to track your hands and all that if you smudge the cameras simply just by putting the headset on. You might accidentally wipe it with your palms or add some oils and grease in front of it. I don't know if that could potentially have anything to do with it. But just a theory.
By the way, the videos on it, which mind you, I could see a little bit of depth of it, but not enough. But it looked around the same kind of amount of depth. Looked not too far off from what a phone could take. But more importantly, it looked like the video straight up looked 480p. And mind you, the Apple Vision Pro has two 4K displays, and I'm sure the camera can record higher than 480p.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. That does not... It's not even sound. It doesn't look good.
So why would you want a Vision Pro? It records at 4320 by 43... Yeah. 1080p at 30 frames per second. Yeah, that's spatial videos that you could get with it, which, mind you, didn't even feel immersive. Yeah, that is not 1080p, or doesn't look 1080p to me. Or I guess it could because it looks like around the iPhone 4S's resolution, but still did not look good.
Well, I wonder if it's because of 1080p being upscaled to 4K. I wonder if that might have had something to do with it.
I don't know, but all I can say is that the videos and the display resolution it just looked terrible. And it was not intuitive to use.
Yeah, I know people like to write this off as, oh, it's a Gen 1 product. It's okay if it sucks.
There's a certain degree. There are limits to this. Like, for example, imagine if people made up all these excuses about the Microsoft Kin. Oh, it's okay that it doesn't have any third-party apps. Oh, it's okay that you can't tweet photos.
It's okay you can't do anything. It reminds me of the same thing with the Humane AI pen. Oh, it's okay that it can't do so many things and it has this many issues. It's a Gen 1 product. It's the Humane AI pen powered by AI. I hate how some people try to write this off as it's a Gen 1 product, but Gen 1 products, whether you like it or not, still will get their fair share of criticism, and without it, if it were, say, to actually take off, how does it improve if you don't give it criticism? And you just excuse all of its shortcomings by, oh, it's a Gen 1 product, so any of its flaws, no, they don't matter. Gen 1 product. It's okay.
It does matter. Like, for example, it does matter that, for example, why does the Vision Pro need a 3D display?
Well, I'd say for getting more immersed in your environment around you.
But who likes 3D displays again?
It's just not it's not useful in so many other applications. Here's a good one that I have that I got this comment on my Pixel review where I basically went on 10 minutes purely raving about the button layout on this.
Oh my, what was the comment?
You watched that, right?
Yes, I did.
All right, the specific comment, it was really short. It was basic. Tabby actually replied to it. Let's see. Oh, got a new comment on that video. Where? Aha! Bro yapping 10 minutes about button placement. It was that simple.
Yeah, I have some classmates that talk that way.
The thing is, though, the button placement is bad.
Yeah, like it
so
is.
You think I'm going to ignore it?
Yeah, like you need to thoroughly explain. Like you need to thoroughly explain why it matters. Now, granted, I unfortunately might have to side with him in saying that going on for 10 minutes about button layout might be a little extreme, but...
Well, I had to describe how it made taking screenshots harder, and also the problems where I'm trying to feel the buttons in my pocket.
But you still did a great explanation of it, so...
Yeah.
That guy's comment was really rude.
I mentioned, even if you have to have the buttons on the same side for taking a screenshot, they put it on the right side of the phone, where you only have one digit to push them, not two.
Because most people are right-handed, such as myself.
Some backwards logic. I have no idea why this
like my iPhone 14 Pro, it's designed... It is clearly designed for right-hand use because it has one button on the right side and two on the volume buttons.
Yeah.
And Samsung Samsung clearly thought of this because they've been putting the power button on the right side all along.
Power button here. Volume buttons here. Oh my god, it's a novel concept, right? It's like it actually makes sense. Oh.
I guess we shall move on to our next topic now, which
went.
is that iOS 17.5 is undeleting it's recovering long deleted files.
Well, I have not noticed any of that going on with any of my devices. So
neither have I, though. If you know me, you know why.
Well, that's because you don't update.
Yeah, there's some pros to not updating your devices.
Yeah, it's an interesting bug. It's just stuff that's in the trash, right? Like not like forever deleted.
No, it's stuff that's forever deleted.
How is that possible?
I haven't seen much on this in over a week, and I don't know if iOS 17.5.1 is out.
iCloud maybe? Because when you delete it forever, it clears storage in your device.
Yeah, 17.5.1
it has to be through iCloud.
So it's fixed that bug, but what it does is, a possible theory is that because people throw images back up to iCloud, which again might be a possible explanation if you don't pay for iCloud storage. No, wait, you do.
I do pay for iCloud storage. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So I guess so. One theory is that because it's backing them up to iCloud, it's still storing on Apple servers, so it's managing to get back that way. And another theory is that because it's not securely erasing the files, then as a result, it can still appear. And that the deleted photos haven't been overwritten yet. Because
it has to be iCloud.
Huh?
Because it has to be iCloud, because I know there is a feature in iCloud where if you want to downgrade your storage or something like that, but you need to get rid of photos and such, it gives you time to basically get all those stuff despite that you have no storage. I think it's a bug with that, maybe. I wonder. All I know is it has to be iCloud related. Because from what I'm hearing of how this bug is operating, it has to be iCloud related.
Yeah, it would have to be, because the issue is that most people take so many photos. Most people just don't take a bunch of photos on their phone and then delete them and then don't replace them with new photos. Which as a result
this has to be an iCloud issue, not exactly the Photos app issue. Yeah. So I would not be shocked if that's what happened.
Yeah, so that's just about what that infamous bug is.
At least that's my best working theory. I can't confirm it because I'm not the one who fixed the bug, but that's my best working theory as of what went wrong. It has to be iCloud related. And lucky me, I don't actually store any of my photos in my iCloud.
Yeah, I do. I store some of my old photos in my iCloud, but I don't. But they're photos I'm okay with keeping anyway.
So, yeah.
And if you know me, you'll know that I've been out of iCloud storage for at least 2 years now.
Are you still on the 5 gig plan?
Yes.
Yeah. I had to get 50 primarily because I'm working with documents between people, more specifically you. Sharing the video podcast takes up like 10 gigs.
Yeah, it takes up quite a lot of storage. Speaking of, I won't.
All right. So yeah, there's that bug addressed.
All right. Now let me have a sip of water before we get on to our next sort of Apple-related topic. Alright, so Comcast has just released Stream Saver, which is a bundle for Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus for $15 a month.
Netflix alone is like $15, right?
Yeah. So it's not a bad deal at all.
Yeah, I'd say the deal itself isn't that bad.
Yeah, now granted, I
don't know exactly what's on Peacock, but
I personally think that it's just mostly NBC shows and such that are on Peacock and other stuff on that they've gotten the rights to.
What would have been a better bundle is include Disney Plus too. That's like the second most popular streaming service I can think of.
Yeah, Hulu and Disney Plus have already combined, and there's actually a rumor that they're allegedly going to combine with the Warner Brothers with Max to combine into one super service then too, which this means that the streaming wars are finally starting to go away.
I don't think they're ever going to come to a complete end, though.
They won't come to a complete end, but they'll die down.
I don't like messing with them a lot. Like, I still have Apple TV Plus, but I hardly watch anything on that platform, primarily because they have to have, like, super high-quality production films, and a lot of the storylines are just storylines I can't get interested in.
Yeah, Hollywood entertainment, I'm sorry, guys, but it's just no. But I think ultimately the big rise of streaming wars just ultimately led to the decline of Hollywood entertainment, because it's truly just not. If it's not economical to get into Hollywood entertainment, it's just that's not a good way of describing it. But I've gone into this side tangent a few times before on this podcast, but it's so much cheaper and easier for anybody to be able to make a video on their phone and post it online versus getting a big, high quality, spending often millions of dollars on a film.
Yep, sometimes it's worth it, but the thing is, I think a lot of us have gotten tired of a lot of Hollywood becoming more corporate decisions instead of true passion from a director.
Yeah, Hollywood is not, and the entertainment itself, it used to be worth it.
Yeah, it used to be worth it, but all of a sudden, corporate came in, and now they're starting to meddle with all sorts of things. Like, here's a good movie I think I could bring up that definitely had a lot of corporate meddling. Have you watched the fourth Kung Fu Panda movie that came out this year?
No, I haven't. I watched I watched one of them at school back when I was in second grade, but I have not watched the fourth one.
I can definitely tell there is tons of corporate meddling, and what feels especially that way, what helps make it feel like it's definitely corporate meddling. The last time we got a Kung Fu Panda movie was like 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. The third one came out many, many years ago.
I'll look up when Kung Fu...
Why come out with the fourth one now? Because it seemed like whoever the team was that initially made the series...
It's 2016.
Oh, so not 10 years ago, but not far off. Not far off. It's been so long since they've released it, and it feels like the only reason they came out with the fourth movie is because, okay, we need to release something big for someone. We need to release something big for the audience. What are we going to release? I don't know, people like Kung Fu Panda. Let's make a fourth movie. And it feels less of a passion-driven project and more like an incremental upgrade to the iPad per se.
Going more on this ramble. What was Kung Fu was Kung Fu Panda 4 a good movie?
Well, I personally really liked it. I was able to put the corporate meddling aside. The animation is 10 out of 10.
Was the storyline good?
So good. Storyline needed some, well, it was kind of overhyped. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but one spoiler was the villain did not live up to the hype.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. Like, they were trying to picture the villain as the most powerful enemy Po the panda was ever going to face. And truly, her villain and her character in general was dull and flat. And in fact, even the villain's backstory made absolutely no sense. And every reviewer will tell you this. The backstory of the villain made no sense. at all.
Yeah, and speaking of... Yeah, and before...
So, for the most part, that movie was primarily let down by bad writing and corporate meddling. But, dude, the visuals were just... 10 out of 10. Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah, and you know it's corporate meddling involved because here's the thing. Most of the audience from Kung Fu Panda 3 back in 2016, most of the kids that would have watched it back then, like including myself, are now close to, if not adulthood, when we're going to want to watch other movies, or else not even movies at all.
So, yeah, it's just a problem that I keep seeing in Hollywood all the time. It's just, I can feel it watching the entire movie. I mean, in the case of Kung Fu Panda 4, I felt whoever was in charge of the animation department, there was a passion in there, and I felt it. But anywhere outside of the visuals, well, okay, voice acting was pretty good too, but the storyline, the plot, and there was no passion in marketing this. It just felt like, here's another product.
Yeah, and it's another good point.
That passion is just leaving Hollywood. In fact, we know this because, especially in animation, so many animators are going on strikes, so many actors are going on strikes, so that even affects live action movies.
And did you see the movie Migration?
I have yet to see that. I hear that it's really good.
It's good. It's a good movie, but it's not the greatest. It's good, but it's not anything that'll blow your mind. It's not as good as Sing, for instance.
Yeah, Sing. I mean, aside from the music, because it's not exactly my favorite music they play all the time, it felt lively, and you could definitely feel some passion in that. That's the number one thing that gets me excited for movies. It's when can I feel the passion in every department? And that is just going away. They're becoming more corporate products and not passion-driven projects.
Yes, and I know you're going to disagree with me on this one, but Sing 2 did not feel like a passion product. It felt like a long It felt like just a literal movie that was badged on with Sing 2, with the Sing 2 franchise, even though...
No, I agree with you. I agree with you in that department.
Huh?
From an overall product standpoint, yeah, I agree with you. It definitely felt like a corporate decision, but there were other aspects of the movie that I thought there's talented people in there who liked doing what they're doing.
However, the problem with the Sing 2 movie was that it was needlessly emotional, which, mind you, for a kid's movie, it isn't really supposed to be that emotional, especially considering the first Sing wasn't emotional. It was extremely long, which is definitely not what a kid's film is supposed to be. And it just did not feel, and I just hated that movie.
I couldn't hate it, but I can see where your criticisms are coming from. But yeah, it's just a big problem with Hollywood in general.
And it's a big problem because
that's why a lot of us have pivoted towards YouTube.
Because how many people do you see talking about Hollywood entertainment, Hollywood entertainment movies and TV shows coming out now?
I rarely hear about anyone talking about any Hollywood stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And how's Disney stock doing again?
I don't think it's just Disney's.
It's not just Disney's, but how's the Warner Brothers stock doing? Time Warner, I should say.
I don't actually know because I don't pay attention to the stock market.
Neither do I.
It's overall, Hollywood is a mess, and I've gotten more invested watching actually. They're referred to as indie animation via short films or full movies, actually. They take forever to come out because, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Indie. Independent. Meaning done by a very small group of people. They don't act... Also meaning they don't have the big budgets and all that. But the one thing that I just get out of every single one of these indie animation short stories, shows that I watch, there's a passion in there. And I can feel it, and I love it, and it gets me excited every single time.
What indie stuff do you watch?
It's really it's nothing really specific. It's just there's a bunch of short form videos that I've watched on YouTube. Here's a good indie short. Fueled. No voice actors. Well, at least, there's one voice actor, but there's not really primarily a speaking role. The point is to get animation across. Again, an issue with indie animation is they don't have the budget to make a product as big as like a Hollywood film. But the thing that I love out of indie animation is the passion.
Yeah, and the thing I like about YouTubers.
Oh, here's another good one. Here's another good one that has slightly larger budget and has voice actors. Lackadaisy. Lackadaisy is another good one I think you should check out, especially because it features cats. I know you like cats.
Yes, I do.
So, Lackadaisy is another good one.
Yeah, and with YouTubers, you can clearly tell. With many YouTubers, you can clearly tell if they're passionate about their content. Like Mr. Who's the Boss, back when his videos were good, you could tell the passion in his voice when he spoke. You can tell the passion in our voices as we're speaking.
Oh, that's the number one thing I get when it comes to commenting positively about my videos. They can tell I'm dedicated and I'm passionate about everything I make.
I sometimes don't feel like I speak as passionately about the content of my videos as I am, but
well, especially when you compare your voice to mine. You know how dramatically I speak.
Yeah, I don't speak.
You know. I'm a complete drama
king. I tone down. I tone down my voice a lot more.
So yeah, there's a difference in that. But like, I can sense the passion in your videos. I can sense the passion in Tavi's videos.
So can I.
It's a lot stronger than many other channels our size, actually. But yeah, that's the one thing that I love. I guess that's really the reason why I prefer watching YouTube more than Hollywood nowadays. I want to feel that passion. I want to feel that people actually put love and care into the product. It's one of the reasons why I buy Apple products. You can tell somewhere down in the department, X department, somebody actually cared about that, and they make so many good decisions, and every decision they make has intent and purpose, compared to this thing where, let's just stick buttons. We need buttons, all right, let's just put them here. Don't matter if they're easy to actually use or not, just we need buttons, all right, you got buttons. There you go. There's your buttons. Compared to the strategic placement where the buttons are located on our iPhones today, it's just... I guess that's really what draws me to YouTube more than anywhere else. Even if I want to get news, for example... Like, let's say I want to get political news or something. I don't like watching political news for obvious reasons. I would rather go to YouTube than any of the corporate media sites like Fox News or NBC.
Well, actually,
because unlike those people who are there for a paycheck, there's passion here on YouTube. That's the number one thing that I've just learned I love about YouTube. The people who make the content here are passion driven. Especially a lot of people considering, like, for example, I'm not monetized. I am not financially incentivized to make content for you guys.
And I'm barely financially incentivized.
Yeah, You're finally monetized, but you haven't received your first payment yet.
And mind you, I've been doing this for 8 years, so
yeah. So, yeah, that's the difference between YouTube and Hollywood. It's just the passion.
And one of the biggest reasons why I have trouble coming up with video ideas sometimes is there's sometimes not a lot of stuff that I'm passionate about. I mean, sure, I have 40 iPhones, over 15 iPads, I believe. No, 14, I believe. I have 15 MacBooks, I believe. Don't quote me on the numbers because I don't know for sure, but I have around that, and I have so I have so many products I can make videos about and just say, oh, is this worth it? Is this? But the problem is that I'm not passionate for a lot of those ideas, which is why I have to really think hard and think of a video idea that I'm passionate about.
In that I have the same issue with the Gadgets channel and the Drive channel. There's so much content that I actually want to make and I'm passionate about. Like, I can't wait for my North Carolina road trip because, oh boy, are the videos going to start cranking out when I do go on that. But when it comes to, like, making the iPad video, you guys can tell that I don't really care about iPads because Apple hasn't given me a reason to care about iPads. And as a result, I don't dedicate my passion towards it. You want to know something? The only reason why I made that recap video is because somebody asked me to in the comments section of the last one.
Wow.
That's it. I was actually thinking, you know what? I really don't need to make a video explaining the changes of the iPad because at the end of the day, it's literally going to come down to the exact same conclusion. And that's what happened. It doesn't matter what hardware changes Apple makes to these iPads. As long as they do nothing to fix the software, I will never recommend the expensive iPads.
Oh, we'll actually get into that later on. Just a teaser for what's coming up later.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't want to make that video because it's the same topic over and over. I made how many videos covering this already? It's just annoying. And I'm having the same problem on the Drive channel, actually, where you know how much I talk about the charging industry, and it's basically CCS, problems, Tesla, perfect.
Yeah.
Minus the whole supercharging firing thing, but that aside, because it's literally been nothing but CCS is problems, Tesla's perfect. Where do I go from here?
Yeah,
I want to start talking about cars. I want to start talking about driving. That's the whole purpose of the Drive channel when it launched. It's supposed to talk about the cars themselves. It's supposed to talk about driving, everything to do with the cars. And this entire time I've been talking about charging stations for over a year. It's annoying. I did it because it was important. Okay, it was important. And now that we're kind of in this... It's an awkward period, but now that we're in this awkward period of we're adopting the same plug, we've got more reliable hardware that we know is proven in Europe coming to North America. I just, at that point, I think my job in terms of reporting on the charging industry, it might not be done just yet, but I can feel it's coming to an end. It's nearing an end, as we are in the process of finally getting these issues resolved. But at that point, where do I go from here? The only cars I have access to is... I don't even have access to Red Fox anymore. She went to the junkyard. So now all I have is Stardust. And let's be real. Who really cares about a 2019 Buick LaCrosse?
You do.
That's the problem. I do. Nobody else. Because for the most part, it was designed just to be a comfortable car that gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah, and
nothing special.
And one of the biggest reasons why I didn't create a car channel, even though I debated doing it last summer and last fall, was because I just didn't was because the problem, one of the biggest problems is that I don't have access to many cars. Like I could my parents wouldn't mind if I borrowed their cars for videos, but for me, if I made one video about it, but but my family doesn't have that many cars, so as a result, and even if my family did, I still don't have anywhere else to go in terms of cars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that I've got my partnership with my local GM dealer.
Yeah, you're really lucky about that. Otherwise, there's no way I probably wouldn't have. There's no way I could have gotten that.
Yeah, not at your age. You probably won't be able. You probably wouldn't be able to get a partnership at your age, to be honest.
I'd have to be 18 at least, and even then, I probably wouldn't be able to get a partnership at a GM dealership just because I don't drive a GM vehicle.
Well, funny enough, my GM deal. The way dealers work, they don't sell specifically like. Chevrolet doesn't specifically sell just Chevrolet products. Now, they're certified by Chevrolet to sell brand new Chevrolet vehicles and to service them and get genuine OEM parts, but they will also sell other cars. Like I've seen a couple Fords at that dealership. They've recently sold a Chrysler Pacifica there.
Yeah, they do. They sell other brands of cars there too.
So yeah, there's that. And for me, the partnership that I've worked up with them on is educating the whole electrification. So the cars that I'm specifically going to review, I mean, it's my niche. You know how much I care about them now. And it's kind of hard to review gas cars because of this now. Basically, they have my number, and the second they get an electric car in that is up for sale, they're going to give me a call and say, hey, you might want to get down here and film a video of this quick before it gets sold. It's cool that I have this access now. I mean, if I am ultimately desperate and I need to get a car review out, I guess maybe I can ask, hey, can I check out one of your cars here and make a video on it? Because they've got no complaints about that. To them, it's basically free advertising because they don't pay me to make these videos. I came to them. So...
yeah.
But yeah, that is that's kind of what's going on. It's hard for me to make videos because the stuff that I'm passionate about, for the most part, I don't have that much access to it, especially here on the Gadgets channel. I mean, I'm working on, at some point, I want to find a foldable phone to review that.
I've been thinking about getting a foldable phone too.
Yeah, inspiration from Tabby, because what he picked up a fold for like $200 or something.
Yeah, I'd say we both got inspired by him.
The thing is that, like, where do we go? You have all the Apple products you pretty much mostly want to add to your collection, minus the ones that you can't afford yet.
Well, I don't have them.
I don't need to buy any new products.
Yeah.
What do we talk about?
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, and even I still have this trouble, and I always thought that as my Apple collection grew, I would just not have the problems of finding video topics. But now I'm slowly starting to realize that I'm still having trouble, even though I have over 100 Apple products. I'm still having trouble figuring out what video ideas to make.
Yeah.
Videos to make,
it's a real challenge.
So I guess if you think that you'll get infinite content if you build a giant Apple collection, you're wrong. Unless you want to make videos that are not passionate.
I mean, I kind of thought the same way, where I'd have to collect products in order to make content, but luckily I very quickly realized that I did not need to do that, especially because most of where my interest lies is in new products.
Yeah.
I mean, old products are cool. There are some cool things about old products, but I mean, what is there to talk about when it comes to old iPhones when I don't do jailbreaking content, I don't do downgrade tutorials.
Oh, and more importantly,
I don't do.
And more importantly, what if you hate? And more importantly, I hate doing those. I hate making those tutorials. I hate that I had those tutorials now because I always get comments of people whining about how it's not working up when oftentimes just a simple issue. Like that is driving me crazy.
It's called watch the video.
Yeah. Now some of the comments. Now sometimes the criticisms or not necessarily. Sometimes when people have real issues, I do offer real solutions. Like sometimes there are real issues that people have.
Yeah. But when it's like when the comment comes in 2 seconds after the video is posted, it's like, really?
Yeah, usually I don't have that issue, luckily.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
That's an issue with you?
It has been on some videos.
Comment coming in 2 seconds later, oh my gosh.
You should have seen my Lucid video. Before the video had even been out longer than the duration of the video, it was like 10 minutes into the video, I instantly got hit with a comment from somebody claiming me to be a complete, total Tesla fanboy and hating on Lucid. When you know my thoughts and opinions on Lucid, in fact, I pretty much prefaced at the very beginning that I did like the car, but I had to bring up these genuine issues.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was branded as, I'm a hater.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
It's just like how this is actually a real example of how my friends think I'm a so-called op, or some of them do, because I don't like rap music, and I think that all rap music sounds the same.
I don't like rap music either.
Yeah.
I don't like pop music.
Exactly.
To me, it's fake. It's fake music with fake sounds, and if you like fake everything, apparently the world must love fake everything because they're crazy about generative AI. Oh, all this fake stuff not made from the passion of an actual human.
Oh, this is a perfect segue into our next topic.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my goodness.
Alright. This is a biggie, as you can tell.
God. This is a biggie.
This is...
Oh.
Hopefully we won't have to rate this episode explicit after we explain this.
Hint, hint, we're probably gonna... Oh gosh.
OpenAI now has a romantic AI that can fall in love with you.
On a scale from 1 to all of them, how many drugs are they on?
I'd say all of them, because...
Okay, I've made my one video explaining the dangers of AI that we need to be aware of. Which, for the most part, scarily, most people just completely wrote off.
But this is a real issue that this is gonna... But the problem for romance...
This is pure danger.
This is dangerous.
There is no upside to this. This is purely dangerous.
Yeah, there's nothing good about having a romantic AI, because then next thing you know, people aren't gonna want to fall. Let's say guys like us aren't gonna want to aren't gonna want to date real women, and as a result, we're never gonna get married and have kids. And eventually, if everybody thinks that, then guess who will go on the endangered species list?
It's not even just that. We're playing with human emotion.
This is not okay.
That is dangerous. Unbelievably dangerous. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was president of the USA today, I would make an executive order banning that.
So would I.
That is so dangerous for humanity. Playing with human emotion.
Yes, we've already seen that that's dangerous for humanity.
That's why I said on a scale from 1 to all of them, how many drugs are they on?
Well,
this is not anywhere remotely close to being a good idea. Try to name a benefit. Try.
Oh, and you want to know something worse about this?
Name it.
So they tried to get OpenAI tried to get a deal with Scarlett Johansson to use her voice for this romantic AI because she was in the movie Her, because she did the voice of the robot in the movie Her, apparently, which is about a guy who fell in love with an AI assistant. And then so Scarlett Johansson declined that offer, luckily. However, the action now this version of ChatGPT 4.0 has released. As a result, more people are focusing. As a result, people are starting to notice that the voice sounds a lot like Scarlett Johansson's voice, and now she's actually suing them. And Sam Altman even tweeted just simply her, like in the movie, to signify that it was based off Scarlett Johansson anyway. And OpenAI still tried to sign a deal with Scarlett Johansson to use her voice anyway.
Oh, good. They better get their something handed to them on a silver platter for this.
Hopefully OpenAI isn't actually going to do a deal with Apple, because this is bad.
Dude, I'd rank this worse than the EU.
Oh, yes, this is... Why does the EU ban this?
Yeah, EU! You're on a trend of banning things. This be a good thing to ban!
Or how about the US government, If you claim that, how about instead of grilling Apple, you grill OpenAI?
Yes, Gosh... A big danger is this isn't regulated, but you want to know something funny? It doesn't matter how hard you regulate something. People are going to find their way to make stuff around regulations, or just flat out ignore regulations or release it anyway. Regulations only do so much.
Yeah, they do. So people are still... This is still...
The problem is regulations only work for people who actually practice in them in good faith. Sadly, something that humanity just flat out does not do. I'm sorry.
A lot of people do that. It's just there's a few bad people that don't.
There are some people who just do not practice good faith and just screw people for the sake of screwing people. So, as a result, this is bad in every single way. I don't know how else to put it. And I'd rank this even worse than the EU. I can't believe this made me rank something worse than the EU.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Neither can I.
Just, what were they thinking? You know what? You've already marked this episode as explicit, right?
Yes.
I'm going to say it. What the were they thinking?
I don't know.
Gosh. That's just... What a way to end Season 3.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're not done with Season 3 yet, as we still have some rumors to cover. So... Our first rumors are regarding the iPhone 17 Ultra, which is rumored once again to be a tier above, even though I just want to first off and say it, because they've been rumors about an Ultra phone since the iPhone 15 rumors, so I wouldn't be surprised there's no such thing as an iPhone 17 Ultra, but
it's kind of become a boy who cried wolf situation.
Yes, just like how iOS is rumored to have a major redesign every year, even though we have more on that.
Yeah. Or, don't worry, Windows is going to get better at some point. Oh, fun story about Windows, actually. I have to get out of the way. For the first time in history, my dad finally agreed with me about how truly terrible Windows is.
Is he going to buy a Mac?
No, because he still needs it for SolidWorks.
Oh, man.
But here's what happened. So we're messing around with Cam, trying to get it to work, and when you're trying to change the different parameters, it opens a separate pop-up window. That pop-up window opened up at the very edge of the screen, completely cut off, and you could not drag it. Because all that was exposed was the X.
Oh my gosh.
The entire time he's swearing and cussing away because of how mad he is about he can't get this window into the middle of his screen so he can manipulate it. And the entire time I'm just laughing hysterically. It's like, what's so funny? I'm like, dude, welcome to my world. You always wonder, why have I said Windows is total trash? That right there is why. And all he could do was sigh in defeat. Finally, he once admitted, I was right.
Finally. Alright, but the iPhone 17 Ultra the rumors for this are just, again, aside from it being extremely thin, which that I sort of believe, but not really, since that's not Apple's trend lately, or I mean, with the iPhone. A redesigned camera bump, which, okay, maybe I get, hopefully. But unfortunately, it would just be more about moving it to the center rather than fixing a stovetop design. And an aluminum chassis, which I highly doubt, because seriously, Apple would never put an aluminum chassis below.
I mean, for the most part, the majority of their products technically are made of aluminum. MacBook Pro, iPad Pro.
The difference is that aluminum is used on the budget iPhone, so... And then you have titanium.
Aluminum's used on the budget Macs and iPads.
Well, that's not my point. The point is that the iPhone 17 Ultra is going to be a tier above the Pro or Pro Max, and that the iPhone 15 Pro and I assume 16 and 17 Pro, which are already a tier above, use titanium. Then what's the next step above titanium? It should be realistically using something above titanium, like platinum or something.
Diamond.
Oh, yes, diamond would be excellent.
Yeah, fun fact about diamond. It has no business being as expensive as it is because unlike what most people think, diamond is actually extremely plentiful. In fact, we can manufacture it.
Yeah, a diamond. Yeah, a diamond housing. It would realistically be diamond, but...
Imagine the wedding proposals.
Maybe I'll have to propose... Maybe I'd have to propose to my... If I had a girlfriend, maybe I'd have to propose to her with an iPhone 17 Ultra.
Take that! Take that, OpenAI's romantic AIs!
We can propose to our girlfriends now with iPhones. Like giving them actual phones.
Oh goodness!
How would they wear an iPhone though?
We got pop sockets.
Okay, I'm just carrying a pop socket on using an iPhone as your engagement ring all the time.
Oh my gosh! Oh, sometimes our humor is just so bad it's hilarious. Oh, goodness. All right. Getting off of that topic.
All right, our next rumor is...
Realistically, I don't know what else they could choose for a material at this point. Does it even matter, though? Because most people case their phones anyways.
People would like a diamond phone.
And, like... It wasn't until this year Samsung finally switched the Ultra series phone to something other than aluminum.
It was titanium because they copy Apple.
Oh yeah, I said this year they switched it to titanium.
Yeah.
but ever since before then, it was always been aluminum. Since the S6, I believe. Yes, S6, because S5 was the last plastic one.
So. All right, getting back on topic to our next rumor is that the iPhone's promotion will be on the all iPhone 17 models.
I don't believe it. You know what? I'm actually willing to bet money on this. I do not believe the non-pro models will get promotion.
Like the iPhone 17 lineup is such a long ways away that that's hard to say. But in order for me to believe it, Apple would have to start bringing promotion down to non-pro MacBooks and non-pro iPads
and iPads.
With the new iPad Air, they haven't done it yet. Again, they could with the Mini because the iPad Mini should have a flash. The Pro should, but not the Air doesn't need a flash.
Yeah, right.
But realistically speaking, we would have to see a lot more Apple bring down promotion a lot more in order for me to believe it more. And again, Apple is primarily geared on iPhone 16 development right now, so 17 development, iPhone 17 is still a year and 4 months away, so it's still 16 months away as of recording this episode, so quite a lot could change between now and then.
Yeah. So,
but if promotion does come to the all iPhone 17 models, then that'll be nice.
You know, I'll bet $1. I'm going to bet $1.
No,
it doesn't come.
Because I believe it won't come either.
I don't know what to do with the dollar, but I'm going to bet $1.
For example,
yeah, we're not gonna pull John Prosser and bet our on anything.
Oh,
I wonder if he's gone through that yet.
Oh, please! Oh, that's gross. Why would he? Why would he do that?
He did it though. Yeah. What was the bet? Oh yeah, he bet his left on Apple is not going to add USB-C and they're going to go portless.
So in other words, he has to now give it up because they went to USB-C.
Oh. Okay, the eyebrows were funny enough, but this...
We do not need to see... How is he going to even post that to YouTube?
I think he's just going to have to show a hospital receipt.
Still, why would he... That's not exactly healthy. But also, maybe we should cut this part out of the podcast, you know?
Yeah, I'm cutting that part out. Part out. Anywho, yeah, bet aside. I'm even trying to remember what to be excited about for iPhone 16.
Oh, the capture button. Better cameras.
Not excited about capture button. You know why.
Yeah, neither am I. What else? Oh, the A18 chip coming to all models. The A18 Pro chip coming to the Pro models. The iPhone 16 lineup will be more of a minor upgrade.
I suppose. I mean, could you technically call the 15 a super cycle?
Yeah, sort of. The 16. Alright. Getting back. How about we... But speaking of something that's coming right around the corner, how about we discuss the latest iOS 18 rumors?
Alright.
Remember the boy who cried wolf situation about how there's rumors nearly every year since at least 2019 about how iOS will get major iOS 7 like redesign.
I know we can wish so much for that, but the problem is I mean, the only reason why iOS changed for iOS 7 in terms of design had nothing to do with, oh, we're bored of skeuomorphism. Let's
it was because they got a new engineer who had a completely different vision.
The whole reason why it was redesigned was because of a complete change in leadership, and that change of leadership had a whole new vision for iOS, and that's why it changed. Meanwhile, I'm sure there's been some changes in leadership in terms of design, because if I recall, Johnny Ive was the one who designed iOS 7, right?
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So that means somebody else is in charge now. Changed in design since iOS 7.
Yeah, so that means somebody else has to be in charge now, and I don't know if who's in charge. Who's in charge of just the design? I don't think it's Craig, because I'm pretty sure Craig is head of software development.
Craig Federighi.
Really? He's in charge of designing that now?
Huh?
He's in charge of designing iOS now?
I think so.
I gotta look this up. That's, I don't want my... What the? No, give me my normal tab group. Thank you.
What happened?
Just trying to browse through Safari. Who is in charge of iOS design? Well, that's wrong. First answer came up was Johnny Ive.
Yeah, pretty sure that's incorrect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's incorrect. I see a Jeff Williams. That's industrial design. Don't you love how useful Google is at times?
Say, I do. Not.
All right, well, screw that. I guess we'll never know. Point is, whoever's in charge now evidently does not have a complete new vision for iOS, and as a result, I don't think we're going to get a complete major redesign like we did from 6 to 7.
iOS 14 was kind of a major redesign if you think about it, because of the addition of widgets to the home screen.
I mean, sort of, but for the most part, most people probably won't consider it that, because you still have the same designed icons.
But it's not going to be looking like but it won't be looking like Vision OS like some rumors were saying. There will be voice memos transcription, map notes for AI assistants, web page summarization in Safari, the ability to block certain content within websites, magic erasers like on the Pixel, custom routes and maps, topographic app maps that are found outside the Apple Watch. Get ready for this one. Or no, actually, I'll circle back to the big topic. All iPhones that support iOS 18 should support 18, and get ready for this one. We should say before we get to the big topic, what do you think about everything else?
I'm kind of a bit nervous about the every device running 17 getting 18, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would really appreciate that, because as of right now, this is the oldest Apple device that currently gets iOS updates.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the iPhone 10 probably still gets security updates, but I'm talking like full feature OS updates. And I'd love to continue to use this for at least one more year. Especially considering that Apple really is going gung-ho on their design with the iPhones, and I do not like the design direction they've gone in.
But is it gonna? Will the iPhone XS run iOS 18 well, or will it stop on its maximum firmware as well as, or else we'll have a stop like this, being the iPhone 4S, which, as you may or may not know, infamously is terrible on iOS 9.
Right. Yeah, I hope that they do not leave the iPhone XS on a buggy operating system like they did with the 10.
iOS
10's still on 16,
right?
That's because you're running a very specific version of it. Literally after that, it became a complete buggy mess.
My iPhone 10 on iOS 16 isn't even buggy.
I don't know how that's the case. It's giving me iOS 11 vibes. And you know how much I hated iOS 11.
iOS 11, well, it crashed for me a few times. Though it wasn't too terrible.
Yeah, 16 was a nightmare 16 was close to iOS 11 in terms of nightmare for me. It was not good. So I hope we don't have that scenario again. Again, it wasn't exclusive to my XS Max. It was an issue with my 13 Pro Max. It was an issue with Tabby's iPhone at the time. It was really bad. You just got lucky.
Yeah.
So
at least for me.
I hope that they don't. I hope that this is not left on a sour note.
Apple might want to intentionally leave devices on sour notes, so that way people will upgrade, like how they left the iPhone 6s on a sour note.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, yeah, that makes sense. But from a consumer and customer standpoint, that is like an awful thing to do to your customers.
Again, Apple probably figures that a lot of people aren't using the 10s or 10R anymore anyway, so
I still see 10Rs out and about.
I still see a few, but there's not near, but iPhone 10R, but the oldest phone that I still, but they're getting fewer and fewer.
Yeah, as I mean, same here, but it's like when the 10R came out, I saw a massive decrease in iPhone 6s, and now I'm seeing the same thing where we're on the 15 or the 14 or whenever everyone else upgraded, and now there's been a decrease in 10Rs, but I still see them around. Dude, 10Rs sold extremely well.
It did. I mean, I should know, as I was able to get one for 100. Well, I think I just got lucky, but I was able to get one for $130. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Because this is truly an excellent phone.
Yeah. I was watching one of my older videos how I was talking about the tech community does not understand the iPhone 15, the whole 120 hertz argument thing. And I had mentioned I compared that so much. I compared the 15 so much to the 10R and how its display completely disgusted the tech community. No one could fathom, no one could even conceptualize the idea of Apple selling a $750 smartphone with a less than 1080p display. They just could not get behind that. And well, we all now know what happened with that phone today.
Yeah, it sold extremely well.
But it doesn't have a 1080p display. It only has a single camera lens on the back. It only has 3 gigs of RAM.
I think because the iPhone 15, remember back when I said in an episode of this show around August that I saw that most of my classmates primarily used iPhone 10Rs and 11s.
Yeah. Dude, those were... They may not be the most technically impressive devices on the market, but that doesn't matter because that's not what's important to average Joes.
And I even wanted an iPhone 11 back in June of 2020 because I thought they were nice phones. Anyway,
they were.
But getting back on topic, or at least getting back to what I was going to say, now the iPhone 15 is out. I've seen a massive decrease in the iPhone 10Rs and 11s I see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame to now... It was exciting for me when I got this back when, it was a year old and iOS 13 was out. And it was exciting to be like, oh, I'm going to use this thing for years. And now that a few years have gone by, I'm now really dreading the day for when this eventually loses support, because I did not expect how much I truly was going to love this phone.
Yep, that's why. That's why I generally upgrade my phones every.
So sad when it loses.
That's why I don't upgrade my phone, update my iOS on my device anyway. So that way it doesn't really matter when they lose support.
You're missing out on features, though.
I'm not missing out on many important features. In fact, I'm missing out on none.
But I suppose did Apple? Well, here's one that I kind of drives me nuts. You know how much I make use of the edit iMessage feature?
So do I. I am a bit irritated that my iPad doesn't have that, but I don't care that much about it. So
your phone doesn't have that either, right?
No, my phone. I have a 14 Pro. It shipped with iOS 16.
I thought that was an iOS 17 feature.
No, it was a 16 feature.
Prove it. I actually don't know. Send me a random message and then edit it.
All right. All right. Did you get it?
Oh, you! Really?
Did you get the shift?
For context. Oh, it did edit. Yeah, so for context, the initial message was Bluey sucks.
Yes, he knows
so much I like
Bluey does suck.
And then he changed it to Bluey is the best show for little kids to watch.
I mean, it's not bad for little kids. It's just annoying and not special.
It's great for adults too.
No, it's not.
Probably more specifically parents. Maybe you'd appreciate it more if you were a parent.
I'll see. Maybe I'll have to watch Bluey when I become a parent, though. That'll be a few years.
Maybe you'll appreciate it more then.
As I don't plan on becoming a parent now for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So, anywho, okay, I guess that was an iOS 16 feature. Why did I think it was 17?
I don't know.
So at this point, I don't even know what's special to iOS 17 now.
I mean, they made a UI change to the phone app, but
I don't notice those.
Yeah, not that much change, but are you ready?
I can't
are you
think
ready
of a
for
single
the?
thing.
Are you ready for the? Do you have any more to say about any of these features, or shall I move on to the big one?
Can Apple, could you please extend the charge limiter function to other Apple devices and not just reserve it for the 15 series, because we all know it is clearly a software feature.
What's charge limiter?
That does not need to be software locked. It basically limits how high you can charge the device up to. People who are battery preservation nuts actually care about that a lot. Like Talos of Tech, for example, he uses it with his 15 Pro. He limits his charging up to 80%. So, yeah, could other Apple devices please have that? Tim, thank you.
Or else all right, now this one is going to be a big one. This one is good. This rumor, if it's true, this is going to be this is going to be...
I know. I still have my doubts about this, though. I see what it is in the notes, by the way.
This is like hearing... This is like hearing the news of JFK being assassinated. It's that big.
I'd say it's as... Could you also say it's as big as OpenAI's romantic AI thing?
Oh, no. This is way bigger. This is...
You'd say it's even bigger than that.
This is some pretty big news. It's as important as...
In that case, everyone, we gotta sound the alarms.
This is as important as Pearl Harbor. This is as important.
Breaking news, everyone! Turn your TVs on.
Get ready for this. Drum roll, please. I just irritated my cats doing that, but the calculator app is rumored to come to iPadOS 18.
Yay! It only took
14 years.
Yeah.
Of a feature that should have been there from the very start.
I know. So, what do you think they're gonna do? Because when Marquez specifically asked Craig, why is there no calculator? What calculator experience do you think they're going to come up with? Because that was the number one reason supposedly we never got a calculator app. It's because they can't figure out the experience. So, what do you think the experience of calculator on the iPad is going to be?
I think they'll make it at least a scientific calculator experience, because if you flip the calculator app on an iPhone...
Yeah, you get the scientific calculator like that.
Yep. There we go.
Or if you expand the calculator window on your Mac, you also get a scientific calculator too.
Oh, let me try that.
You didn't know you could do that?
No, I didn't. So do I just drag it?
I believe all you have to do is hit the green... Let me confirm this myself. Wake up, keyboard.
Oh, yeah!
Where's my mouse?
You have to hit the green button.
Yep, green. Yeah, the green traffic light will change it from a standard calculator to a scientific one.
That's cool.
Yeah. Be nice if the watch could do that, but then again, tiny screen, I guess it makes sense not to have scientific. It's really handy, though. I use the calculator on the watch so much.
So do I.
I did not expect how much I'd use it. So
I'm so glad.
What are the chances we might see a graphing calculator, though? Do you think we're going to get that, or
hopefully? Because
I really just asking
think
for too
about
much?
it. I'm gonna think about it. If iPadOS 18 got a graphing calculator, then presumably my school iPad would get a graphing calculator. So that way, we might be able to put.
You're referring to these things?
These expensive, overpriced pieces of garbage away.
Yes. I keep forgetting mine's chipped. How did I chip mine?
I don't know. Do you even use yours anymore?
I haven't used this in years, and that's just because I use different graphing calculators at the office. And again, most of the time, I don't even need a graphing calculator at the office. I just need a basic scientific one. So,
do you just use your phone or
your watch truth is this
at work?
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I don't even... Goodness gracious, I haven't touched this thing in 2 years.
You should turn it on just so that way it will keep working.
Validating OS. Calculator
might need it for algebra class.
And the battery's basically dead. Yep.
Yeah,
to be expected. I don't even know where the charging cable for this is.
Does it just take mini or micro USB?
Yeah, it takes mini.
Yeah,
it's the same calculator as yours. Isn't this the calculator you have?
What's
just
yours?
Different color. TI-84 plus CE Python.
TI-84 plus CE Python.
The CE stands for Color Edition, so yours might not have the CE.
No, mine is Color Edition.
Oh, yours is Color Edition?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, mine is TI-84 plus CE, but mine's not.
Okay,
Python.
so yeah, we have the exact same calculator. Oh, I don't know what the Python's for.
Well, that would make sense since this calculator was from an old college student of one of my mom's friends before, but she graduated, so my mom gave this to me to have for upper level algebra classes or upper level math classes.
I had to buy mine.
Huh?
I had to buy mine.
Luckily at my school they usually offer calculators in the math classrooms at my school. So.
Oh, that was the case when I went to public school too. But for the most, once I switched to homeschooling though, then I needed to get one of these because my mom claimed that she had a working one, except apparently she was not correct at all. I think the screen on it died.
Must have been a really old one.
Oh yeah, that thing is ancient.
I'm guessing it was from when she went to school.
It was from the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an old one.
Ours are from 2015.
Mm-hmm. So, anywho, it'd be nice if they gave us a graphing calculator on the iPad because we technically have one on the Mac. It's just not under calculator.
Yeah, it's under Grapher.
What's the app called? Grapher? Yeah. Yeah, we technically have a graphing function separate on the Mac. It'd be nice if we had that for iPads. So that way, who knows? Maybe the schools could save even more money.
And then they could buy and then schools could save it could maybe buy Mac Minis instead of all those crappy Dell desktops.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. When they spend less, when they choose to go to PC because it's cheaper, the students know what happens when they do that, and they hate it when they do that. There's always a downgrade.
How do students always know that? Or
basically the experience of using the computers just goes down through the toilet.
Yeah, one of my friends mentioned how in his class about how in his class he had to go into a different teacher's classroom at one point, and how it took there was an old Lenovo computer, but mind you, it was that old enough to have a really loud disk drive. But more importantly, it took like 8 minutes to launch Chrome.
Yeah.
So
sorry guys, PCs aren't up to the task of doing some basic stuff. Sometimes from a hardware level if you don't spend enough money, and for the most part, always all of the time from a software level because, well, we know who makes the software.
Yeah, in one of my classes when we used computer, when there were a bunch of desktops of desktops in there, because they were all running Windows, I believe 2 of them got completely corrupted and unusable.
Try the computer in the computer lab that completely stopped communicating with the projector.
Oh, gee.
In the computer lab. Teaching a computer class.
Oh, mind you, I take computer dedicated... Oh, mind you, I was taking a dedicated computer class.
Yeah, it was up to me to plug the projector into another computer because the teachers didn't know how to do that. And so,
why did they not? They don't know how to use HDMI.
Oh, dude. When it comes to schools cheaping out on computers, I mean they cheap out computers. No, They didn't use HDMI. They still don't use HDMI.
Oh, VGA.
They are still in the old days using VGA.
Yeah. Well, they don't. The teachers don't even know how to work do you suppose that the teachers were too young to know how VGA actually worked?
No, my computer teacher was in her late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, she probably would have known what VGA was. Yeah, there are some teachers now. There are still some projectors nowadays that still use VGA, and there are a lot of teachers that probably don't know. And there are some teachers at my school that probably don't know how to use VGA.
Well, what drives me nuts is a lot of the teachers actually... I know one who is a Mac user at home, but when it comes to anything going wrong with the Windows computer in the classroom, always has to call IT. Knows nothing about PC and knows nothing about the concept of a monitor. Because, like, most Mac users probably buy MacBooks or iMacs. You never need to plug them into a separate monitor, right? So a lot of Mac users, specifically average Joes, the concept of the monitor being detachable is foreign to them.
So your teacher had to call you had a teacher that had to call IT just because the cable came unplugged or something.
No, it was another Windows issue where it decided, nope, we're not going to drive this projector. So I had to completely unhook the cable, and of course it was screwed in because why wouldn't it be? It's VGA. Everyone's always going to screw it in. So.
Yes, that's why I hate VGA.
Yeah, thank goodness we're basically done with that standard.
Oh, not my schools.
Okay, yeah, schools are still on it because they're schools. Of course they are. They don't update their tech ever because they are cheapskates.
Like that touchscreen TV at my old middle school that banned Apple Watches.
Yeah. Jeez. And then they buy the cheapest Chromebooks that never even last half a semester.
Actually, the Chromebooks at my schools do usually last. They sometimes have a tendency to last. Or they often do last at least a year. They often last several years at my school.
I'm pretty sure that the ones that my school bought, they're from Dell, and they're made from that extremely brittle, cheap plastic.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of Chromebooks at my old middle school. Luckily now my school district switched to iPads, so...
Yeah. Because actually the number one problem with those Chromebooks is the hinges kept breaking.
Oh.
That's where the plastic always broke. It was always at the hinges. And as a result, lots of display failures, lots of, oops, the display came off the body of the laptop. That's not good. What drove me nuts is they continued to buy the same ones!
Like, they didn't think of maybe saving money and buying better computers.
No, they insisted, nope. Because we have Dell desktops, we have to go Dell laptops, and Dell offers, like, these crappy $200 brittle plastic that breaks laptops, and because they're cheap, that's what we're going to buy.
How the Chromebook loaning system worked at... How the Chromebook loaning system worked in my three different schools is, at my elementary school, what they would do is they would just assign, is that whatever number you were in the class roster, that would just be the number of Chromebook you were assigned. You would always use that Chromebook unless for some reason it broke. But because you would stay in one classroom, you basically use those Chromebooks anytime your teacher instructed you in class to do something online. At my middle school, how it worked is that teachers would have to check out... At my middle school, how it would work is that teachers would have to check out carts, and then when you sign, and then depending on which Chromebook you grabbed, you would have to sign on a sheet to show that you used whatever, like the Chromebook number 7.
Yeah, there's a reason why I started taking a MacBook to school.
Any incidents, like somebody looking any incidents with maybe misuse of a Chromebook, then the school authorities could track down who used the computer and did the. Yep. But my high school,
there's a reason why I started taking a MacBook to school.
You serious? They let you do that?
Yep, they did.
My school doesn't allow that, and my parents.
I'm surprised they let me do that.
My parents probably wouldn't let me bring my MacBook to school anyway, just because it costs so much.
Yeah, I did all of my high school schoolwork on a MacBook. Microsoft PowerPoints and Word documents, and that's also because at the time that was when my internet was extremely unreliable and I could not depend on that, because an annoying thing that the school system insists is you have to use Google Docs because everything's on the cloud, except they completely forget that the area where we live, internet access is kind of a luxury and not a basic utility provided to all.
Same.
And unfortunately, the internet access that we do have is so unreliable, basically, forget it.
Yeah,
so
Google.
I always had to do
at
everything
least we have
offline.
iPads now at my school, so that way with Google Docs, you can just excuse me. I'm about to. So that way at my iPads at school, at least you can edit documents offline, and at least my school does have Wi-Fi, so that way that isn't a major issue. But
I don't know how editing docs offline works, because I've never, ever in the history of Everness gotten a document to actually stay offline.
I can't get them to stay offline, but I can modify them offline.
I can't even modify every time I try to open it, despite that I say, keep this document offline so I can edit it without a connection. Every single time I go to open it, oh, hey, you have no Wi-Fi. You can't access this document.
That's very irritating because a lot of people, especially in my area, which mind you isn't too rural, don't have internet.
Like I said, drive 2 minutes down that way. There's no cell service.
Yeah, and my high school, meanwhile, getting back on topic, my high school, how the Chromebook loaning system worked is that, I know this because there was a very brief time when we still did use Chromebooks, and you would oftentimes just grab Chromebooks and then you would use them, but there would be screencasting software that would cast your screen to school authorities.
Oh.
And now at my school...
Wow, that's disturbing.
And now at my school...
That's disturbing.
And now at my school with the... Or now at my school with the... I just turned voice isolation on because there's a storm brewing.
Oh, fun.
But at my high school now, with the iPads, they just assign you an iPad, a charger, and a power brick, and you just have to bring that all back at the end of the year.
Didn't they give you a Logitech case as well?
Yes, they did.
And does that also have the crayon, or was that just experimental?
No, there actually they are giving crayons away to some kids. Like if you're an art club, I believe you can get crayons. The crayons are not standard.
That makes sense. I still can't believe there are some schools that issue iPad Pros and Apple Pens. Imagine they're going to... I wouldn't be surprised at all if some schools actually start buying the brand new M4 iPad Pro.
Hopefully
with the
my
Apple
school
Pencil
does
Pros.
that.
Yeah. So dumb. What a waste of money. What a waste of money.
That is true when you consider that.
Like, we complain that they don't spend enough money. There are situations where they can spend more money than they need to. And iPad Pros is definitely one of them. Because again, what can you do on an iPad Pro that you can't do on the budget iPad?
That is valid.
That's my number one argument why I tell people not to buy the expensive iPads.
That's why I don't buy an iPad. Seriously. That's why I don't buy an iPad Pro.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy a used one, or maybe not necessarily used, but a refurbished one, when the price comes down, but like to pay $1,000 for a tablet that does literally nothing different from a budget iPad, how does that make sense?
I don't know.
It just doesn't. And that's something that Apple just clearly is not willing to understand. But yeah, it's getting back to the iPadOS rant. We've done that enough.
Yeah, and getting back, and all right, and I believe we have one other topic that you added.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I did it this way if I'm going to add topics, I do it as a suggestion. That does not necessarily mean you have to take me up on my suggestion, just so you know.
You should.
So that's why I did it as is. But because we happen to be, or mostly me, but because we happen to talk a lot about electric vehicles out here, and I know that some of us are Lucid fans, I wanted to mention that there are now rumors that Lucid is now working on a, once again, Model Y competitor.
Oh man, a mid-size crossover.
Yep, I mean, technically this would sell better than the Gravity because, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Gravity is actually really cool, and it is unique in the crossover space. But again, Model Y competitor after Model Y competitor, it gets old really quick.
SUVs at this point are not special cars. They're not. They're, as I proudly say, housewife cars.
They can also be dad cars too. The big ones, especially like the Chevy Suburban, for example. That's a dad car.
I don't see many dads around driving big SUVs. It's typically the moms I see driving them, and I actually don't know what a lot of the dads in my area drive, because I know my dad's an outlier in this case because he drives an M6.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for the most part, most men actually drive pickup trucks. But the reason why I say men will also drive big SUVs is because they're truck-based.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why. So, like, they'll have a big SUV for family. It's supposed to be for family trips, but because obviously families are going to be efficient with the amount of vehicles they have, dad's going to take one, mom's going to take the other. I usually find that dads like to take the more truck-based option because, they have to be manly. They have to be in their big, manly vehicles to look like a man going to work, to do manly things. Is that what that one commenter on my Blazer review was suggesting? That I'm not manly enough? Because I was reviewing a mid-size crossover and I drive a luxury sedan. Is that what he was complaining about? I'm not manly enough.
That's fair. You know, it's not exactly a man. That's not a manly car, but at least you're not driving it.
Yeah, that is the new funniest comment I have ever seen. I gotta read it. I just have to read it. Okay. Too many young men have grown up without a father around much. I don't know. I see my dad 9 hours every day. So, and that's minimum. Sometimes I see him longer than 9 hours every day. So, just saying. To show it, they're not around much. They're not around much to show and advise them how to act like a man. Really not trying to insult. It isn't their fault. This dude, referring to me, is no different than most his age. So in other words, he's basically saying, I'm not manly enough because 9 hours with my father every single day isn't enough.
Hang on, I have to reply to this YouTube comment about my iOS 4 jailbreak tutorial.
It's another stupid question that was addressed in the video, I guess. Yeah. Wow. Out of all the insulting I just laughed at that one. It was so funny to read that. Yeah, I'm blessed that I've been bullied enough in school to the point where these types of insults they just humor me. They don't even hurt. They just humor me. I've been bullied enough in school to learn about this. So it's so funny to read.
Why did kids bully you in school?
Well, in my earliest days in school, like kindergarten, let's just say I was a little crazy and I liked having fun all the time, and I didn't necessarily get the whole purpose of school, so it made me weird in that regards. And also because I was obsessed about having fun and having a good time all the time, I just weirded everybody out so much. And actually, it eventually got to the point where they started taking advantage of that. And then the other aspect too was I was one of the most I always try to be as helpful as possible. In my opinion, there is not enough good people who do good things simply because it's right. And I even thought this when I was young too. That was so many of those students exploited that from me. They exploited my willing to help others out and put me in very bad situations. And because I was young, I didn't know any better.
Oh, or do you want to go into what bad situations they put you in or not?
No, I don't. I'll just say that some of them ended up sending me to the principal's office. But yeah, honestly, like I've been reflecting a lot on my school years recently, and there's only one word I can describe my time at public school. Traumatizing.
I mean, the teachers don't even do anything about bullying. The teachers didn't even do anything about bullying in your case, so...
No, if anything, all they did was fuel it, because now the kids knew they can get away with it.
Yeah, if kids know they can get away with stuff, then they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, so that's what happened to me in my early years. I was exploited a lot I wanted to do the right thing, and I thought I was doing the right thing on an occasion, but evidently I was tricked into doing something that got me in trouble. And obviously, word spreads around quick, so now everybody knows, oh, they can easily exploit me, they can play me like that. And yeah, it was just not a good situation. So, and then as I progressed through my later school years, when new kids moved in the area and new kids came to school, it was a combination of the old kids informing them about this of me, or if they try to interact with me, I'm now on this new... I'm now so paranoid that I'm going to be exploited again. And as a result, it pained me when I couldn't do this, but I was so worried about being exploited and taken advantage of again that I would decline the simplest requests. Even though they sound easy to do, but I would do it because, well, I decline it because I was so worried about being taken advantage of again.
Yeah, I have to do that too.
And so, as a result, I did not have a good impression on the majority of students there. And when it came to group projects, I was never, ever invited. They knew I had no friends, but would anybody ever invite me into their group? No. The teacher has always had to assign me to a group, and usually it has never worked out for the better. They never listen to me. I just exist. And so eventually, once I got into middle school, that's when I learned, you know what? I can't bother trying to make friends anymore. I found it hilarious. One of the teachers is like, dude, you have to mingle. You have to make friends. And I told him, I'm sorry. That's not the case with me. And boy, was I correct. I learned that I did have one friend growing up in high school, but I learned recently that he's been lying to me the entire time. That was my big event that caused me to not film my reaction to the Apple event. That's why I requested not to be on the podcast the following Thursday. I had learned that the one guy who I thought I could trust was lying to me the entire time.
Did he just lie about you about what he did? Or nah.
He lied to me about his interests. He lied to me about his friend group, and his friend group is unfortunately a group that I have major disagreements with.
Oh.
And really the only reason he was with me was to be a people pleaser. And as a result, I feel guilty now because I feel like I've taken advantage of him. And I know what that feels like because I've been taken advantage of in the past before. And now I feel guilty because of that. Truly. My school life, if I had to sum it up in one word, traumatizing. It was a truly awful experience, and because of that, if I ever have kids, I could never send them to public school. I could never let them bear that burden that I had to. And I had no help. My parents could do nothing. They could talk to the teachers, but again, the teachers will do nothing. It does not matter. It never did. So I wish this upon nobody. I hope you don't have to deal with this like I did, Teddy, because truly, school was insufferable for me. I lost sleep over this, and I wanted to make a vlog discussing this more in detail, but truly, my school years, the best way I can describe it was traumatizing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had.
I wish it on no one.
Yeah, I haven't had especially in my early school. We clearly lived very different school lives, because when I was in kindergarten. When I was in kindergarten first grade, I was very outspoken, and especially in kindergarten, I don't want to say I didn't know what was going on, but I was kind of like you in a sense of the way you're describing. Again, I don't know, but I was just a little bit too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And as a result, I just kind of annoyed I often annoyed my teachers and my peers a little bit. But then but in kindergarten, first grade, I also got in trouble a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But then second grade, I finally started following the rules, and I started that was when I started realizing, that was when I started to realize that my teacher was that school was just, it was you may or may not know this about, if you know me in real life, this, but if you don't know me in real life, I was always on the bit of I've always been a little bit on the higher end of academic achievements in my classes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've been clear about that. You've taken AP classes, right?
No, I've never taken AP.
I thought you said you were.
No, I'm not taking AP.
I don't know. Would you though?
No, I would never take AP.
All right. Well, I do know that you were on the higher achieving end. Yes.
Yeah, I was on the higher achieving end. So as a result, a lot of times, I just kind of started realizing that, hey, it's a little irritating having to deal with these other classmates who are nice people, but are just not exactly great to learn around, since, especially in second grade was the year. Have you ever, I don't know how high on the academic achieving and you were at school, and to be honest, I don't care. But,
I was high.
Huh?
I was high. I averaged an A-.
All right.
I wish I could have gotten A's, but to me that was kind of impossible. So bare minimum, I struggled for A minus. Anything below that devastated me. Which now looking back on that, the whole grading system is truly messed up, and it's really messed me up, to be honest. But I was always on the higher end of the grade scale.
Yeah. So as a result, it was just especially back in 2nd through 5th grade, when for the most part, except for minor little activities, I would basically have to learn at the same edge as a lot of students that really struggled. So as a result, I was always frequently getting bored in class because I was ahead of everybody else and I didn't know what else to do. And so I started realizing that, but more importantly, in 2nd grade, this would be a trend that would continue throughout most of my elementary school years that really bothered me. But just because a few kids would misbehave in my classes, my teacher would punish my teacher started punishing the entire class.
Oh, I've had a substitute teacher that was that way. And everybody hated her.
Substitute teachers could do that?
Yeah.
The only thing that substitute teachers can do in my schools, if there's any misbehavior, is that they can just write the names down.
Yeah, where I went to public school, substitute teachers basically had the same authority as a regular teacher. They might use a different punishment system, but for the most part, it really didn't matter. I had my 2nd grade, most of the time my teacher who was supposed to actually teach the class was gone on vacation half the time.
How could she even keep her job?
Probably a combination of there's not many teachers in the area, and also she's rich. I don't know, but
teachers don't usually make money.
Her husband's rich.
Yeah.
Her husband's a dentist. My dentist, actually. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. But. Yeah.
Yeah, dentist. Yeah, teacher. Do subs have to get certified in Michigan to substitute teach?
Yeah, they have to be certified.
Huh?
They have to be certified.
Yeah, you don't have to be
They have to be certified.
In my state, you don't have to get certification to be a sub. You don't get paid very much to sub, but anybody can sub a class, so
that seems almost scary.
It's actually not, because oftentimes a lot of substitute teachers are just people are aspiring teachers, or else teachers who just don't have a full-time teaching job.
Well, you'd think they'd at least have to go through a background check or something, right?
I don't know, actually.
I would think, because
you'd probably,
that'd be a huge security risk.
Definitely. You definitely now would have to go through a background check, I believe, but
yeah. So.
Yeah, how could you?
Yeah, I know our substitute teachers have to get certified because they've talked about it before.
How did you get
renew their certification?
How could you be a substitute teacher if you weren't certified?
Because I didn't go to a public school, or I wasn't subbing for a public school.
Oh.
I was subbing for a private group, mostly taught by a bunch of mothers, but they get together and help other students with different categories. Like, so for example, my mom, she'd get together with other moms' kids who were struggling in math because she was an algebra teacher. So she'd get together with those students and help them with their math.
So
that's what I subbed for. Would it be
like was it like tutoring, or was it like full-on school?
I guess a more appropriate description would be tutoring.
Yeah.
Because it's not a registered school or anything like that. It's just a group of moms who get together to school their kids.
I
need my lightning cable because my iPhone is about to die.
That's fair.
Yep. I'll move that for now. So yeah, that's what I subbed for. It's not for the public school. I'd never sub for the public school. The kids there are so wild. Yeah, I like that one activity that I proposed for us yesterday, specking out the Porsche Taycan.
Yeah, that was... I guess we shall go. I guess we could go into what configuration went.
Yeah, so for context, last night, I had randomly started, you know what? We talk about Taycans all the time. I wondered, what would my perfect Taycan be? So I spec out my Taycan, and then I realized, you know what? The whole podcast talks about Taycans all the time. What would these guys' ideal Taycans be? So I pinged them in the group chat and asked them, hey, what would your guys... No budget, okay? No budgets at all. Make this truly to your spec. Money is not a factor. How would you spec your Porsche Taycan?
All right, what I did was I painted mine to be gentian blue metallic. I just chose the basic 19-inch Taycan S Aero wheels, which are standard. I chose a leather interior in black and Bordeaux red.
Yeah.
Comfort seats 8-way.
I downloaded the PDF documents, by the way, just if we want to reference them in the future. Ultimately, though, here's the funniest thing. What was the total price of your Taycan?
Mine was $107,515.
Okay. Here's the price that Tabby spec'd out. His came to a grand total of $170,285.
Oh!
It's a really nice spec, though. But that's still not the highest price.
Oh, jeez.
I actually have the most expensive one, which I found hilarious. Because I think Tappy, especially, owning his Q5, and he's driven the Taycan before. I think he'd be this enthusiast who'd really love to actually properly spec it. And again, I told you guys, no budget. Spec it however you want. And yet he chose, what was it, a 4 or a 4S? His is just the 4, albeit it's the Cross Turismo, so it's the wagon form. But his is just a base 4. Meanwhile, I went GTS Sport Turismo.
How much is yours?
So mine base MSRP without options starts at $141,000.
Oh.
Once I spec'd it out and added all my options, I'm at $188,260.
Did you expect mine to be the cheapest?
I did, but not by that much.
I'm also not that major of a car enthusiast, so that's primarily why.
Yeah, I mean, I should have guessed, but hey, fun fact: yours is the most efficient out of all of ours.
Yeah, I like efficiency. I like not having to pay a lot for charging my car.
Yeah, so technically yours will go further on a charge than ours.
And that would be nice, so that way if I ever want to take a road trip, like for example, someday I'm interested in possibly taking a road trip to Cupertino.
Oh, let me know when you go on that trip, because I've been wanting to go too so badly.
Yeah, unfortunately mine wouldn't be quite as scenic. My trip wouldn't be quite as scenic as yours because I'd be going through the South, which especially the Southwest would not be that pretty.
Oh, you think going through Nebraska and Iowa is pleasant to look at?
Yes.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. At least it is to me.
I have actually done the trip before, and 2, I've Googled Street Viewed it.
You've actually been to Nebraska?
Well, not quite Nebraska, but South Dakota. It's Custer, South Dakota. That's where I've been. It's real close to Nebraska. But yeah, the stretch to get out there is so boring. And then I've done the Google Street View through it as well. I'm sorry, going through Ohio and Indiana and Pennsylvania was way more interesting than Iowa and Nebraska.
I can imagine that. Yeah, I would just be going. Yeah, I would have to go through a lot of I'd have to go through a lot of deserty regions of the U.S. which are just not that exciting.
Yeah, so.
But I would still,
don't think you have the most boring stretch.
But in the easternmost stretch, then I would definitely have a more scenic stretch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fun fact. I decided to attempt a Google Street View cannonball.
Did you vlog it?
Huh?
Did you vlog it?
No, I didn't, because this took days to do.
Did you do it all in one go?
No, I had to do it over the course of multiple nights, but I timed how long it took me. I paused the timer once I stopped going for the night. It took me 2 weeks to get from New York to Los Angeles via Google Street View.
That's a lot slower than actually doing it in real life.
Gotta love our internet connection.
I'm curious.
If I did this somewhere with higher speed internet, this would have gone so much faster. But I've learned some interesting things about Google Street View that make it actually a challenge to do a Street View cannonball. One, you need to make sure you actually have a decent internet connection to do it, because there have been times where I've had to wait 3 minutes for it to refresh before I can click and move the next few feet.
Oh.
And then there are times where browsing through Street View is really difficult to do when there's a 3D road section where you're going across the bridge, but underneath that bridge is another road.
Oh yeah, I hate that too.
Yeah. Oh, does it get annoying, especially when you go through overpasses and interchanges.
Oh yes, that used to never be an issue on Google. That I find a little better in the app, but that used to never be an issue in Google Maps, so it's become such an issue.
Yeah, so then you have to resort to using the arrow keys, which moves you a smaller distance than when you click. So, but yeah, I Google Street Viewed my entire way from the Red Ball Garage in New York City all the way to the Portofino Hotel in Los Angeles, California. And it took me 14 days to do it.
Good Lord.
Probably would have gone better if I had a faster internet connection. So, yeah. That's one way I cope with my loneliness. I just take a Google Street View road trip.
Why not take or yeah, you are. At least you're taking a real road trip soon, so hopefully you won't get lonely. Assuming,
are you gonna go? I cannot.
Are you gonna go alone?
Yeah, I am gonna go alone, but I'm still gonna see people when I go. So.
Oh, that's fair.
I'll have some interaction. I'll have some interaction with people. That and, well, in general, I love road tripping. Whether someone's with me or not.
Yeah.
I just learned that I love
road tripping is so much fun. Road tripping is so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're going through the Great Plains. Then it's treacherous.
Yeah, I'd be going. It's not. Yeah, luckily if I just took a road trip to California, I could avoid the Great Plains for the most part.
Would you do I-40 or does I-20 stretch far enough? Or do you have to go further south to I-10? I don't remember.
I'll go. I-20 only goes to western Texas, so you would have to go I-10, but I actually looked up the fastest way and it is via I-40, and even through the Great Plains regions, being Oklahoma and Texas, that you at least have Oklahoma City and Amarillo, so at least you get interrupted by those cities to help break out.
Yeah.
And you also aren't too far. And Tulsa, I believe, isn't too terribly far from I-40.
Yeah, but I don't remember exactly where it is. Like, for me, it's just getting through the Great Plains. That is so hard. It is so hard to get through the Great Plains because it's like you're staring at the same thing. Unlike when you're going through the forests on the eastern United States, sure, you could be seeing trees and trees for miles, but it's usually never the same tree. And so I don't get bored because when I see different tree patterns, that's all I need to see. I just need to see a different tree pattern. But on the Great Plains, it's, well, plain. Nothing. Empty. How else to describe it? And maybe it'd be more interesting if the roads weren't as straight, but they're still very straight.
Yeah, sure. Now, shall we, on an unrelated note, shall we go ahead and end our podcast now?
I'd say so.
This podcast is gone.
I haven't actually had dinner yet.
Yeah, all right.
Also, yeah, we've been going on for an hour and a half at this point. Why do we do this? Because I have to edit.
No,
this.
2.5 hours.
Oh, 2.5.
All right. As always, thank you all for watching another episode of the iTunes Family Podcast. As always, this has been season 3. Has been a wonderful season, and we will all see you back here again for season 4. And as always, I am the Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
My name is DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
As always, we are signing off for now. Peace out, everybody.
See ya.